at Levy Stadium, where the Rams just lost a season opener to the 49ers 28-0. I'm Lindsay Theory. This is Bill Plaschke, Sam Farmer, and Gary Klein. We waited 22 years for this. Bill, did you wait 22 years to watch the Rams get shut out?
You know, for 22 years, we haven't had an NFL team in L.A. We still don't. They didn't show up. They didn't show up. No points. We still haven't scored a point in 22 years. Didn't get within a 26-yard line. It was an embarrassment. It was a humiliation. It was the worst timing ever. Maybe, and I've been in this town 30 years, the worst timing I've ever seen for a bad loss on a team on its homecoming parade. It crashed and burned.
And that might be putting it lightly. Sam, you've been on the road for years covering the NFL. You're still on the road. How do they go home after this loss?
It is so tough. Now, I will say that the biggest difference between, biggest change you see in teams is often between weeks 1 and week 2. So that's a positive. But this was awful. They laid an egg out here. This was a must-win for the team to get off on the right foot, especially with the game against Seattle on Sunday, and then a really tough road trip where they go to Tampa and then they go to Arizona. So tough. And to come out 0-1 and to get blanked out here like that was humiliating.
Gary, you've been with this team every single day since its return to Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you warn us that this was going to happen?
Hey, I predicted a 24-20 Rams victory.
For the record, I'm the only one among this group who predicted a 49ers victory.
You know, Jeff Fisher, after the game, said, in a big understatement, right? We didn't expect that to happen.
Understatement of the year.
Probably fans in St. Louis who are angry that the Rams are out here in Los Angeles would say, hey, we saw this coming however thousands of miles away. But no one, I think, could have realistically predicted so bad in so many different areas in an opening game when so much, as you mentioned, is on the line.
Case Keenum, you kind of have to feel for the guy. It's his first season opening start, his 16th career start. He goes out, he lays an egg. Jeff Fisher says he is still his starter as first-round pick, top overall pick, Jared Goff sits on the sidelines. When is it Goff time?
How can Goff be any worse, in my opinion? I think it was great he didn't play this game because he got out of this mess.
Bill, do you recall when Fisher said Goff had improved significantly?
That's amazing. He improved significantly, and he's third string. How bad must he have been?
Behind what we saw tonight.
Before that. But I think his hands were clean of this mess. He didn't get dirty. He didn't get bruised up or beat up in this thing. I think now at this point, though, you got to be thinking, how much worse can it get? Why not play the kid?
How much worse can it get, Sam?
It's got to be really frustrating against the backdrop of an NFL where you've got Dak Prescott in Dallas playing so well. Carson Wentz played well. You had Trevor Siemian in Denver. You had Jimmy Garoppolo winning. And it's such an awkward, uncomfortable sight to see the number 1 overall pick in street clothes out there. So I agree. I think, and this game, I think,
he looked pretty good in street clothes, though. He looked pretty good in street
clothes. That white breaker?
Why didn't they turn to Sean Mannion at some point? Why didn't they turn to Sean Mannion at some point in this game and give him a try? I mean, like Bill said, I mean, how much worse could it get?
Sam's talking about how awkward it is. Here's what's awkward. Jeff Fisher and Les Snead are looking for contract extensions. We thought perhaps those extensions would get announced before tonight's opener. They didn't. And now, how does that happen?
Well, the timing, right? If it was going to happen,
extend it to next week.
It could not. It's just not. It's not going to be a good look, no matter what. Can you imagine if they had done that before this game and then they went out and played this way? Would have been insane. And now they go to the Coliseum, right? Home opener. They've sold more tickets, right? They've opened the gates for this, as Sam has written about. Pete Carroll's coming back.
And that's what we're going to hear. We're going to hear we're not going to hear bring back Pete. We're going to hear another variation that probably rhymes with that.
Sam has a great line in his story in the LA Times, LATimes.com today about Pete Carroll. I think it just hit the web. Where didn't you talk to somebody who said they got to be careful how they introduce them next week?
Richard Sherman was saying, they should think about saying, coach of the Seahawks, Pete Carroll, ladies and gentlemen, your Los Angeles Rams. Try to capture some of that applause that Carroll's going to get.
He's going to get more applause than the Rams. Is equally as much applause, yes.
Yeah. That definitely could happen.
And on that note, we'll wait until next week to see with Bill Plaschke, Sam Farmer, and Gary Klein. I'm Lindsay Theory. Once again, the Rams fall in a season opener, their first game back in Los Angeles. Well, actually in San Francisco, 28-0.